Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual Gas. For years, I've been wishing that I could spend more time hiking and reading books. And now that wish has been answered in such a Twilight Zone-ish way, and that is now all I do is go on hikes and read books. The future is obviously pretty unclear. And so I've been thinking I'm going to have to find some different ways to make money. And I thought a way that I might be able to make money is by selling funny t-shirts. So here are some of my funny t-shirt ideas. Let me know what you guys think. This is the first one. In like 10 years, people that know, you're going to be like, we got something in common. We both suck. Be nice to me. I have wet bones. You know, I think it's just, I mean, really just any reason for people to be extra nice to you, I think it's good. And wet bones, I feel like is perfect because it's just so hard to prove, you know? Like you see somebody say, I have wet bones, and you say, but I guess everyone's bones are wet, or is that weird that your bone? And then you just be nice to them because you don't know what that means. Dare me to do a backflip?
I like that.
Yeah, a very specific type of person is going to buy this shirt. And,
Me.
I like the color scheme.
Oh, thank you.
Very bold, pink and purple.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think I would definitely, I would wear that that color scheme. I would not wear this shirt though because I dared to do a backflip.
Same.
Yeah, I would be. No one wants to see me do a backflip.
I don't believe that's true.
Yeah, well, I guess there are a lot of.
Someone would want to see it.
Yeah.
No one expects you to, but I think everyone would be on board if you did.
Yeah. Imagine if I could do a backflip, how blown away everyone would be.
Oh, it would be amazing.
I feel like people would be surprised if I could do a backflip in a pool.
You could do a triple Lindy, Rob. You could do it.
Oh, and speaking of which, by the way, if you ever go back to college and do not get Kurt Vonnegut to write your paper about Kurt Vonnegut, because it turns out Kurt Vonnegut's dead. That guy is a fraud. Life is a marathon. That's why I carb load every day. Yeah, that is one that some of these are kind of jokes. That one's just sort of a life philosophy. The next one. No one can smell my secret genitals.
Oh my god.
Like,
does it come with that face?
I think you would have to be wearing that face if you.
You can't wear this.
Does it need to go down to your thighs?
It should, yeah, I think it should. Actually, wait till you see this. I think the next one. But this is sort of a, like I met my current girlfriend on one of the dating apps, and a lot of people are embarrassed to have met on dating apps, and so they'll have like, they'll just make up like a story, like, oh, say we met at the gym or whatever. And so me and my girlfriend, we have our story that we say about how we met. We don't want to say we met on a dating app. So do you want to tell it?
Or you do the.
All right. So you were riding on a train on the MBTA back when we
Aw.
and she was sitting down. I was standing up. It was very crowded, and she looked up at me and she said,
"Hey, Mister, I can smell your dick from here."
My shirt would have to say, almost no one can smell my secret genitals. No one knows my wig is made out of dog hair. Am I the only one here? How often do you guys get asked if your hair is a wig?
Never.
Never.
All right, that's me then. Okay, cool.
I need a lot of those.
It's a good shirt. I think it's versatile. I think it could be worn by anyone, except for someone who is the correct size for it. This one, it's like, clearly it's a play on Ithaca is gorgeous, but like what? How is it? I don't even fully get it, but I do think it's true. Ithaca is bourgeois. People like you are the reason people like me need people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. And that's based on a shirt that I used to sell at Newbury Comics when I used to work there. That said, "People like you are the reason people like me need medication," which I always hated so much. But this shirt, I think it's cool. And this is the last one. What has a few butts and love stumps?
This guy.
If anyone's interested in any of those shirts, please let me know, and I'll start production as soon as like there is any interest at all. Our first guest, who is fantastic, a hilarious comedian, a wonderful person. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Laura Severse.
Thank you.
How have you been dealing with the current state of things? Which is the first question of a conversation to have on this show.
Well, I have been inordinately busy because I actually work at the Harvard School of Public Health, and I work in the Department of Epidemiology. So we are in full-blown pandemic mode, and the COVID team, and I oversee a $43 million research program, federal research program. So I'm busy. So how I've been dealing with this pandemic is I work. and in between that, I scream at my kids to stop fighting, and that's about it. So,
yeah. So I mean, I know it's summer now, but the kids have been out of school for a long time. That's got to be an adjustment, right?
It's been a lot because my son is insanely, he's a lot like me. He's very social. He's into a ton of sport. I'm not into sports, but he's into like a ton of sports.
Yeah.
He just needs to have stimulation and people around him or he goes bananas. My daughter is exact opposite, total introvert. She has no problem being in a room by herself. She tells me she prefers it. So she's actually been okay. But Teddy wants to play and she doesn't, and then they fight and then I lose my shit. And yeah, so it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, overall we're fine because we have a home, we have jobs, we're okay, you know?
Yeah. Could be a lot worse, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah. But you talk about your kids a lot in your stand-up.
I do indeed. It's been tough to try to write because I feel particularly inspired right now. So I'm working on, I have like one little tiny joke I've been working on, but every single morning at 9:30, right after Teddy has had his breakfast, he immediately asks what's for dinner. And for some reason it sends me into like a stratospheric rage, which it shouldn't, but it does. I'm shut the fuck up. Like you and then I kind of want to like mess with him. Like on the one hand, if I tell him something good, like, oh, we're having shepherd's pie, and he'll be like, oh, nice, and be happy all day. But like if I tell him like, oh, you know, we're having liver and onions, and just ruin his day. You know what I mean? I finally had to tell him like, don't ask until at least 1 o'clock. Like I can't do that. You know what I mean? But I know I can make that funny, but like, is it a joke? I don't know, but whatever. But
yeah, I think it could be.
Something.
If I were you, what I would do is just try and come up with more and more absurd things. Suggest, like, oh, I've never heard of Rocky Mountain oysters. Like 'em.
Yeah, so I haven't, I don't know, it's the writing thing has been really tough, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know when we're going to get back on stage, so it's like,
Yeah.
I'm dying to be back on stage. I want to be,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I think we all kind of have that feeling, but I also don't know when it's going to be safe and when we should do it, and I don't know. It's just hard. I mean, I think it's hard for everybody, regardless, you know.
Yeah, well, and I definitely feel like I've never been the type of comedian that can like sit down and write. I just I live my life and stuff happens to me, and that just isn't happening right now. So it's everything that I write is about being quarantined. And it's. I
read last weekend. I read 3 books in one weekend, and I was like, wow. That's not okay. Like,
I've read
too much.
I've read way more books since this happened than I have in a long time, but I've still not read 3. So slow reader.
I will tell you, to be fair, one of the books was my favorite childhood book, which is a book by an author named Raskin called The Westing Game. And if any of you have not read it, you absolutely should. It's an incredible book. It's great. The Westing Game. It's like a classic little murder mystery, and it's a young adult book, but she writes so well, and it's a really good mystery. Like, I mean, I think it took me 3 times reading it, you know, way back when, even just to get what was happening. And then rereading it as an adult, I'm like, oh, I missed that. Like it's a great, great book. So, and it's fun and it's nice and light. So you can just escape for a couple hours.
Yeah, I'm definitely into reading stuff that's light. I'm not a good reader, so I'm reading a lot of Stephen King, which is Stephen King books are great because they're easy to read, but they're super long. So when you're done, you're like, wow, I really did something.
I really accomplished that.
I slogged through that thing.
When I first started doing comedy, I used to sit and literally write out jokes in a notebook and do them like verbatim and get on stage and be like, but as time has moved on, I make notes in my phone and then I just go on stage and, you know, hope something lands. And then, you know, I'm lucky more often than not it does, or I know to tweak a little and I'll be okay. But nothing's happening. So it's like, okay, I don't know what the hell to talk about, you know?
It's so funny how, like, you know how, like, when you have an idea and you go on stage and you come off and you're like, yeah, oh man, that was great. And then you just keep doing that joke for a while. And then after you've been doing it for a year, have you ever gone back and listened to like that first recording where you're like, how did I think that worked then? Like, it for me to keep doing it and keep finding it, but it's like, it was so sloppy.
You know, well, I have this finger fuck joke, right, that I've been doing now for 5 years, and it keeps evolving. But the very first like recording of it, it's so bad. Like, what was, like you said, what was I? It's not funny. Now it's like moved into so many iterations, and now it's like it's a fun joke. You know what I mean? And I really like it. But you're totally right.
Yeah.
On stuff, and I'm like, yeah, what am I doing? Conversely, what about a joke you've been doing for a year, and then one day it just doesn't hit?
Yeah.
Doesn't hit again.
Like,
And what happened? Like,
I think you get tired of it and you aren't selling it anymore.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes there are some weird ones where I'm just like, that used to hit. Sometimes there's like, if it's got a sort of like reference or something, the reference will stop like connecting or whatever. But it's just like, you just got to put it aside because it'll probably work again. It's probably not like.
It's probably not dead, but yeah. Because I had a joke about like Teddy, like my cat dying and Teddy saying to my parents, you know, I tell them like, she got old and she died. That's what happens when things get old. And then he tells my parents like, hey, we're going to be going to the Cape this summer. You guys probably won't be around. That used to hit like crazy. And it's like, I don't know, sometime around last August, it just stopped hitting. And I was like, ooh, sorry.
Stopped hitting in the last 3 months. Now that everyone's grandparents are dying. But,
well, yeah, I don't know that I'll be doing that joke ever again.
Yeah. It's a little tight now. I did all this research on it. I was trying to come up with a joke because I heard that the number of COVID deaths that had surpassed the number of Americans who died in the Vietnam War. And I was like, yeah, but like if you think about it as years lost, it's way off because like 80% of the people that died in the Vietnam War were like under 30, whereas 80% of the people that died from the coronavirus are like over. And I did all this math to figure out that it's like 2 million years difference if you do it by potential years left, you know, using the average life expectancy of an American in 1975 at 71.5 or whatever, and now at 78.4 or 5. And I spent all this time, and I tried it at a mic, and it didn't work. And then immediately, Sean Rosa said, one thing that the Vietnam War and COVID have in common is they're both great at killing people who are in the Vietnam War. And I was like, oh!
There it is.
Oh!
I spent so much time doing math, and I'm not good at math. And then Sean Rosa just
zeroed right in. Yeah. He's a silent killer.
He is. Yep. It's really funny.
He's
like, oh.
Yep. Yeah. We could all have Sean Rosa, and we don't even know it. You can.
We're asymptomatic.
That's funny.
What's that?
What's the incubation period?
The incubation period of Sean Rosa has got to be years.
Oh, that's funny. I took a nice shower for this show, but now I can't get my hair to just stay like how I need it to stay. So, oh well, you'll have to get over it.
I like it. It's good, like you have sort of a laid back.
Hey.
Sort of.
It's cool and cash.
Gosh.
I figured like I'm trying to like stick with certain routines, and I would always shower before every show. That was my thing. I had to be like extra clean and fresh to get paid for 10 minutes at Bill's, like whatever. But and, you know what I mean? Like you have these rituals. So before every Zoom show, I'm just like, I gotta get in the shower. God forbid. No one's here.
Yeah.
No one's smelling me.
But then on the other hand, like you can go to Bill's or whatever. You go get on stage, and maybe it doesn't go that great, and then it's gone. Whatever, no one knows. But this could be on the internet for who knows? Forever.
Forever. We didn't know that our work Zooms were being recorded, and like members of my team were being very kind of free, and I had to I oversee 10 people, and I had to be like, everybody needs to settle down, watch the language. Like, this is Harvard recorded property, let's maybe not complain about whoever. Like, yeah. And then when Zoom, we were first getting on Zoom, about the chats and stuff. And one of my team members was like, Laura never shuts up. She keeps going on about this indirect cost rate thing. I'm like, hey, I'm right here. I see it. Hey. Like, come on, man.
The thing that a lot of people, I guess, didn't know about Zoom meetings is that all the comments are recorded as well.
Yes.
Comments that are not just to everyone, but so your boss might, even if you're like just privately messaging someone on the Zoom, your boss could read that message later.
The host can absolutely pull the whole thing. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
I found out that you can, I could change anyone's name on this. I'll do it to Doug. I'm just gonna change his name. 1 second.
What are you doing to me?
So I've changed it. Now here's the thing about it I didn't know is that now once this recording is done, that it'll go like that back to the beginning. So his name will be Fitsy Bitsy Spider from the beginning, unless maybe it will. Let me change it back now and see if that makes it not happen.
I feel violated. Thank you. No, to be fair, it's good to have a nickname.
Yeah. But so now that I've changed it back, it'll be this full time. But I found out that if you just change it once, it goes back to the whole show. I was doing with Gary Peterson, and midway through the show, based on something someone else said, he changed my name to Charles Manson Karl Marx. Now when you look at the video of the show, it just starts out, and I just have this weird name. So like 40 minutes into the show.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but it would have been nice to know in advance.
For sure. You know what I'm actually super annoyed by though with the Zoom meeting stuff is people with their pets. Like, oh, my cat's so cute. Shut up. Like, I don't care about your cat. Or like on my team, I have this guy Jeff who has this dog Chuggy, and she'll be barking and he'll be like, "Oh, Chuggy." I'm like, fucking mute yourself. Not out back. Like, what the fuck? This is like, I don't let my kids come in here and be like, "Hey, mom." Like, come on. It's super annoying. I don't like that shit.
When I talk to my friends on like FaceTime and stuff, sometimes they'll show me their dogs, and even that I'm like,
I don't care about your dog. I don't care about your cat. I don't care about your dog. I have a cat. I think my cat's the cutest cat. I have kids. I think my kids are the cutest cat. I don't give a fuck about your cat. I don't give a fuck about your kids or your dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if I was there, I'll pet your cat. I'll pet your dog.
Sure.
Pet your kids.
I'll pet your dog. I'll pet your cat. I'll put your kids downstairs. Look, I'm a fun uncle.
I just hate that people think somehow like their cat's cuter than anyone else's, or their dog's more fun than anyone else's, or their kids better. No, all our kids are idiots, and all our pets are gonna die. Like, who cares? Stop it.
Yeah. And then after that, the grandparents.
Right. Because of the Sean Rosa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, the Sean Rose. We could all be carriers of Sean Rose.
So are people joining in? Like, this is cool. Like,
Yeah, we've got a bit of an audience. We've got about 11 people here. So some of them
so cool.
are people who are on the show, and some of them are people that are just hanging out. Thanks for everyone that's hanging out. Yeah, we've got, Carrie's here. Hey, Carrie. We've got Tom, Allie,
Tom.
Tiny, Erica.
Hey,
I miss you, Tom. How have you been?
all right, doing okay.
And of course,
Yeah. All right.
Beard's coming in nice, dude.
Oh,
Huh?
What are we doing
Beard's
with
coming
the
in
hair?
nice.
Is it long? Can you turn to the side?
What? Oh, yeah, it's really long.
Oh, you got
Look
it.
at that.
Oh, man.
God.
I remember those days.
yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's very long.
Like, yeah, man.
Nice.
That's legit. Like that's what happens when you get like so muscular. You have no choice but to make the back of your head look like a horse's butt. Just get something.
Just for continuity.
Yeah, really.
That's
I
awesome.
those shoulders look pretty much like
Like the haunches of a horse.
yeah,
Yes.
of a horse.
Yeah.
Allie, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Hanging in.
Yeah.
1,000 degrees in my room.
Oh, I know. I know.
I have like AC, but my roommate like doesn't want us to use the AC because she's afraid of like the germs being spread around.
Is there a new?
However, it's a closed system. It's only recirculating the same air.
I know.
I mean, do
It's
you have?
literally the same air that's in the house gets recirculated.
I know.
That's how it works.
Do you guys have central air, or you talk about air conditioners? You have central air.
Naturally.
Well, if you believe the
The condenser outside doesn't pull in air. It just cools down the fluid that's in the system. It doesn't bring in air.
All right.
It's the same air that just goes around and around.
This is the kind of information you're going to get from a guy that has braids.
Yeah.
this is good information.
I didn't know I'd have to take
Like
notes at
what
a
I do
comedy show.
professionally, so I know these things.
Yeah, you got. I mean, when a guy who looks like Super Mario in the porn version, yeah, you gotta believe it.
Kelly, I sympathize. My husband's like, I'm definitely putting the ACs in today. I don't fucking see an AC in here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's hot and I'm sweaty.
Yeah.
I feel you.
So far, I'm okay with just having the window open, but when I record these things, I have to close the window because I live in a pretty busy street. So yeah, I'm really. I don't know if you guys can see how much I'm melting right now, but
I have a sheen happening. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like a sweaty.
Full on sweating.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wow.
It's a good look though. I think it's it's like,
Thank you. Thank
it's
you.
like I cover that one mile marker album where they're all sweaty. I think.
I'm definitely getting lens flare from the amount of sweat that I have.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sweating a little bit, but to be fair, I did just work out, so.
I just worked out.
Just goes from beautiful.
Yeah.
To the weight room. See these
To be
guns?
honest, I just fucked 3 chicks. Oh!
Erica, that was an awesome follow-up.
Not like you guys. I just was working out, you know.
Yeah. Me and Tom are both a couple of gym rats. Me and Tom. I mean, for different people call him a gym rat because he's always working out. People call me a gym rat because I'm often found in the dark chewing on deodorant.
I swore I was gonna like work out and like lose a ton of weight during quarantine, and I think I've gone to like maybe 2 walks. Like I don't know.
A lot of people have been talking about how they've gained weight. A lot of people have been talking about how they've lost weight. I have lost self-awareness of my body. I don't remember what I used to look like.
I put my jeans on every Wednesday to make sure that they still fit, so that I'm not at least getting bigger, right? Yeah. But I really was, because okay, all my life, like I've been overweight since I was like 13. Okay, like it's whatever, it is what it is. So I've always said, oh, if I had like just a month or 2 or 3 where I didn't have to like do anything myself to my body, and I would just turn into like, I'd be just one of those workout girls, and always with the water bottle, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
That's just, this is it. This is the moment. I'm shit. Like,
Like the thing,
and I don't know why.
well, the thing is because not having nothing to do also makes you extremely depressed. So it's really hard to do anything.
Yeah.
That is very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Not doing stuff begets not doing other stuff. Like if I'm lying on the couch, I'm probably gonna stay lying on the couch. I'm be like, hey, I gotta get up and work out now, you know?
Yeah, I'm all about momentum. Like once I get going, it's easy for me to stay going. But once I'm at rest,
for sure.
Yeah.
I've watched so much TV too. I feel like I'm TV'd out. Like people are like, hey, you should watch this. I'm like, yeah, I did. Or you should. I'm like, yeah, I did. Like I feel like there's nothing left.
Yeah.
I'm on the Jeffrey Epstein documentary now, just because I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I started that.
Yeah. Oh, it is not fun.
It's not good.
It's a lot less fun than Tiger King.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thing is pretty disturbing, but boy.
Yeah. Like Tiger King, at least you're like, I am not ever going to be that trashy. With Epstein, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I never want to go to Florida.
Right. Yeah.
It's yeah.
Anyway.
It's very, very upsetting.
It's dark.
Very dark.
On that note.
Yeah. Yeah, but do you have anything that you're doing coming up that you want to plug? I know it's Zoom shows are weird and often.
Yeah, I'm gonna order pizza in about a half an hour. Like, pay. I don't promote that.
Yeah.
They have great pizza.
Where is it?
So the Squilling Pig actually is. There's one over on Huntington Ave by the School of Public Health, but there's one right on Center Street in West Roxbury. Oh, actually, there's one up in P-Town. Oh, I don't know why anyone cares. You know, anyway, whatever. There's 3 locations. But anyway, so I'm probably just gonna get pizza from there. I've been trying to be really good about cooking though and not ordering out.
Yeah.
We've been good. We've only ordered out like 5 times total, which is impressive for us because we lived not eating in the house before. Because
same here. I haven't eaten restaurant food since this what happened. It's so weird.
It is weird. So I'm always rushing home, doing stuff with the kids, and then rushing out the door. So John is either going to cook them dinner and I'm going to miss it and eat while I'm out, or he's going to order out, right? So we were a family that was ordering out like a lot, like anywhere from 3 to 4 nights a week, depending, right? It's just too much. It's just too much. We went from that completely the other way. And what I found out is I'm not a bad cook. It's actually really good. And I like to bake. I sort of, like I always thought I did, and I do. I like to bake. I'm a big fan.
I don't know if this happened to you, but did you go through the thing where you ran out of flour and then there was no flour anywhere?
Yes, and so I got down to this much. And I'm like, well, how am I going to make my double fudge chocolate cranberry cake with the cranberry curd that I now make stuff like that? What the fuck? Yes. Yeah, I actually did. I ran out of flour.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was like, we're so old timey now. We're like, get as much flour as you can so we can bake for the next 6 months. Like, for what?
Yeah, I just like always was pretty much every time I wanted to bake something, I would be at the store and be like, do I have flour? Buy flour. And then I just ended up with a cupboard full of flour. And little by little, I went through all of it.
I have pounds upon pounds of cranberries. I have Anthony Zonfrelli's parents are cranberry farmers, and every single year, right around October or November, I'll meet up with his dad or his mom. You know, either they'll come around this area or I'll go down there, and they'll give me, 20 pounds of cranberries, right? So from that moment until present day, like I just make all things cranberry. So I have become like a cranberry, I'm like an expert.
Yeah.
Like if you name something, I can make it cranberry.
So as a New Englander, it's like one of my biggest shames is that I don't like cranberries. I don't like cranberries and I don't like Moxie, and I am so.
I don't like Moxie, but I love cranberry. I make some beautiful stuff. I bet I could make you something that might change your mind.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I guess I like to Cape Codder.
You like a nice Cape Codder?
Yeah.
I make a cranberry syrup that would probably taste delicious in a Cape Codder.
Yeah.
Tell you that.
I bet maybe I could make like a sugary cranberry soda that would be.
I actually, the other night, I made cranberry bread Twinkies.
How
And
were
I
they?
filled them. They were delicious. And I filled them with cranberry.
With cranberry.
Delicious. Curd.
Oh, cool. So cranberry curd is like
C-U-R-D.
you ferment it or?
You melt it, you boil down.
Okay.
You boil down cranberries. You need a boiler and some egg whites. Don't worry about it. Just no yolks. Sorry. It's stupid.
Now I wish I'd asked you to do a cooking segment.
And for a split second, I swear to God, I was going to be like, well, you need 2 yolks. And you got to, and I was like, you got to stop. Nobody cares about cranberry curd. Thank you for having me. It's nice to see all you guys too.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Hey.
Great. So our next guest is a dear friend of mine. I've been running the show The Gas at Great Scott for almost 14 years before all this happened, and then Great Scott announced that they were closing. But now my next guest is working to see if he can save it, and I'm excited to hear all about it. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Carl Lavin.
Hey. Hi, everybody.
Great to see you.
Yeah, same. This is fun. It's given me it's literally the first time I've bothered to put any kind of, like, any other time it's just everywhere, and it's like, and I feel like I've got like an oil drum's worth of product in there right now just to keep it under control. But you know, that's show business, right?
Yep. we both look like generals from different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was, and I was relieved to find out that I was like at least on one of the Allies sides, which we didn't figure out which war it was from, but
I think you're
definitely
one.
Definitely the good guys.
Yeah, you look very stiff upper lip.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care for the Huns.
Yeah. Keep calm, all that.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, and I definitely look like honestly, I probably look like I'm on. I guess I could be on either side of the Civil War.
Yeah.
Both American, right?
Depends on who you ask right now, right?
That's true. Yes. What's going on with Great Scott? This is some exciting news, potential, anyways.
Well, yeah. I mean, so basically, the idea was when we found out. Obviously, when Great Scott wasn't going to announce it wasn't going to reopen, the landlords over there were just kind of like, hey, you don't need to be worried. Just sign a lease, and you can still be a rock club, and you can still have, and you can still do things. And Frank, the owner, was a little nervous about that, and it was uncertain. And he's 76, and he doesn't want to necessarily take a loan just to find out that there was another surge or something along those lines. So he declined that offer. But when I, found out that that was something that was maybe potentially in the cards, I decided that I was gonna check in with those folks. And Carrie, my wife Carrie, pointed out this organization called Mainvest, which is it's a crowd investing versus more than like GoFundMe. It's actually, if you invest $100, you will get a return on your investment. Not only will you get your money back, but you'll get a return on it, as opposed to just straight up donating, which is a little bit more my speed for something like this. Like, I knew that there would be an appetite and an enthusiasm for saving the playground, as it were, for trying to keep Great Scott going. But the idea of doing just straight up GoFundMe seemed a little bit like, hey, you guys want to buy me a liquor license? Like, like,
right.
But the idea that where it's like something that was always so community driven, and so such an important, like, just it was important to the community. It was important to it that doing something along these lines, where if you want it to happen, you can get on board and help it happen, and it's yours. Like, you've got a piece of it for a while there, and we'll just see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I think that the website for the organization is up on the live stream now. But just for if in case this is posted later without that, where should people go to?
So I mean, it's mainvest.com. I don't actually know all the slashes, because why would you know something like that when you're trying to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars? But it's so mainvest.com. Maybe try /Great Scott and see where that takes you. I don't think it'll be porn, but you never know.
Get back to porn, probably.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, so the campaign's up there, and we're in about, I don't know, we've raised through investments, we're about like around $82,000 in 3 days, which is kind of staggering. And we'll just see. I don't get the feeling that Great Scott continuing as it was is exactly the landlord's first choice for occupying the space, but I don't think they are like completely opposed to it. And so the idea to raise this first round was to demonstrate that we'd be able to cover rent while not being able to be open, and also do some of the soundproofing that they've always really hoped Frank would do. Not only, I mean, Frank, just he never did it, because not only was it expensive, but it would necessarily require that he was shut down for however long to do it.
Right.
So not only are you spending the money, but then you're also losing that revenue. And I mean, Great Scott's not exactly a cash cow over there. It does well, and it's but being able to put the soundproofing in now, you don't really need to worry as much about not being open, because that's not even a little bit of a problem right now. So the idea is to try and make it as easy for the landlords to say yes, and make it as hard as for them to say no. So we'll see how it goes.
Let me just say it is mainvest.com /B/great-scott-alston.
You know what? Don't bother. That's way too much work. It's not worth it. Like, I wouldn't even. That's yeah.
Is there a link on the Great Scott website?
It's not on the website. There's barely like. No, it's not on the website. You can find it on the Facebook, Great Scott's Facebook for sure. So you can find it that way. Absolutely.
Tiny had a question he wanted to ask. Tiny?
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. How you doing, Carl?
I'm doing well, Tiny. I love that shirt.
Yeah, man. These are selling like crazy, I bet.
Yeah, no, it's been, it's incredible. They give, I think we sold almost $50,000 worth of shirts.
Wow. That actually leads to my question. I was like really pulled in by the outpouring of love.
Yeah.
And just the even online stuff, and then the dollars and all this stuff. How has that affected you, seeing so many people, like from Michael's article to Brooklyn Vegan to just dummies like me reposting? How much has that emotionally buoyed your spirits?
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a month. Let's put it that way. I was definitely taken aback by the reaction when when they announced that it was going to be closing. I expected to hear some, get some messages and some things like that from people I've known for a long time. But, I mean, just all the comments and everything like that from people that I'm sure I've been in the room with, but wouldn't simply absolutely don't know, and how what it's meant to them, and how sad they were about it have been, and then pivoting to what it's like now, where it's this level of commitment and interest in trying to revive it. I did definitely get a lot of people asking, can we just start a GoFundMe and save it? And I'm like, he's not doing it. Frank is just, he has decided that that's that, and he's just not going to ramp back up into continuing forward.
But he's been cooperative with the liquor license and stuff like that. He's working with you guys.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like that. I mean, so that deal was. I mean, that was my conversation with him about what he was going to, what the selling the business, which is the brand and the infrastructure and the liquor license and the intellectual property, and as much as there is. The number that he quoted me was so ridiculous that I would have to be an asshole to not even try. Like I would be like, well, asshole, that's ridiculous. Like it would almost be insulting to him to not try and figure out a way to take advantage of it, because he and I and Tim, as you know, Tim, you guys, a lot of you know Tim. And if you've ever been to the Gas, he's bartending, so Tim. And so, we've all been at it a long time together, and Frank was, I'd love to see it continue. I'm not going to get in, I'm not diving in on this. It's too uncertain for me. He's also still got O'Brien's to look after.
Yeah.
So, he can't really try to keep two venues going while neither one of them are generating any revenue. And he's the landlord. Like, he owns the building that O'Brien's is in. So he's got a little bit more of a friendlier landlord situation there.
Yeah.
And so, so I knew that there would be some kind of like, all right, let's go. But what's happened has been overwhelming. And, even talking with the folks in Mainvest, who incredible people, like the more I learn about them, the more this has gone on, the more people I hear from, like friends that have worked with them. My friend Bob Logan, that I've known since I moved here in 6th grade, and opened up some studios in Medford, Malden feels like, anyway. But he worked with those guys, and he's going to be the one that's going to be kind of really focusing on helping me with the soundproofing. And yeah, just, a lot of people are working with them, and it's what I couldn't have been more in love with that organization. So I'm psyched for them that no matter how this plays out, if whether or not the landlords agree to give me the lease, that Mainvest is definitely going to get a lot more attention because of what they are capable of, and what they do for communities and for businesses. So that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, being able to sort of harness financially community interests in a cool way that's accessible.
Yeah, and as I say, like, it's it's, they say it's more about Main Street than Wall Street. I don't know where they got that, but it really, it hits home when it's literally the mission of the organization to, it's not trying to fund the initial round of capital for a tech startup or something. It really is trying to make it so that somebody who wants to open a brick and mortar situation and start a business in a community has the opportunity to, and then the community can support it in a meaningful way. So it's pretty awesome.
Can I ask you to maybe share some stories of Great Scott over the last almost 2 decades that you've been doing stuff there?
Yeah.
Touching.
You don't have to answer my question, but you can't stop from asking.
Well, I don't. Yeah. Well, there was that time that a bunch of jerks went up on stage and went playing for a while, and everyone was like, "Wow, that was cool."
Every Friday for 14 years.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. It's tough because, like, even like when when I was talking with a lot of people at the closing, it's always hard to really pick anything out specifically, because by definition, and and if anyone, I had a great conversation with Luke O'Neill when it was when after the closing, and and he was just like, yeah, asking something like that is just being like, hey, you ever read a book? And it's like, yeah, name a book you read, and it's kind of like, talking about something specifically necessarily requires that you're excluding hundreds, if thousands of other things. I think what probably most collectively I take away from it is that I had absolutely no business doing this. You know, I had no background in it. I didn't have any booking. I was working for MetLife when
Yeah.
I started booking, you know, like, you know, the plan once a week. And then, you know, then just, I was like, you guys ought to be a rock club. I'll do that. And I was still working in MetLife. I was like, that, like booking Great Scott was a hobby-ish. And just being like, just being able uh, to have walked, like literally walk ass backwards into something that was, I had no right, no business being able to be involved in. I should never have been able to meet people like you guys, the bands that have played, the people that have worked there. Like, I should still just be like some Red Sox loving dork that, you know, wears khakis and just went blissfully unaware through life, of what was really out there and what the best part of Boston really is. And without something like, and then so like, and that's, so that, I mean, collectively, that's really the whole, that's my Great Scott story, and my favorite Great Scott experience is that it happened, you know. So
Yeah, it's an amazing place, and you know, I know I've definitely felt really lucky to be involved all these years.
yeah, you have been.
You're probably the only person, one of the only people, anyways, that's not a comedian that I've had this experience with, of like, so often at the Gas, like we'll be in the back watching the set, and you'll feed me lines, and it's a fun collaborative part of being a host, is like when like someone's on stage talking about something and just talking to the person you're next to. I did it a ton with John Paul Rivera, who I hosted my mic with for so many years, but just like talking, you know, like talking and riffing, and then being able to go on stage and immediately just like take that, you know, those ideas and present them to an audience is one of the funnest things. And
Yeah, no, I mean, believe me, if I had even a little bit of the balls that any of you guys ever had, I might have tried it ever once myself. So even just the idea that something that I said, that you said, made people laugh, I'd be like, I am great.
You're just one of those cowards.
Like, yeah, no, absolutely, no doubt.
Club.
There is literally nothing about it. I remember when I was like, you know, like middle school, high school, I would tell somebody a joke that I had thought of, but I would say that someone else said it just in case they didn't like it.
Yeah.
And when they liked it, I would be like, all right, it's not, it's fine. I don't even care that you don't know that that was me. I'm just glad that I didn't find out that you thought I was not funny.
Well, and that's
so
like,
it's going to be that guy. It was going to be that guy that wasn't funny.
I love doing that, what we're talking about too, because like, I love like when you give me a joke and then it works, that's so much fun. But when you give me a joke, we're both like, I don't know. And then I go on stage and it dies.
Oh, I love it.
We get to enjoy it. It's
fun
how badly it does. That is almost as sweet as when it goes well.
No, I mean, no, absolutely. I get to enjoy that because that's you doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I can sit over here and just being like, nope, that guy had that joke. Like, it's like literally the same, you know, exactly the same thing of just, you know, I'm not the one up there looking at everyone just being, nope. And I don't know if I ever could. And that's why I've always really admired everything that's been happening at the Gas. I've always really, like really, it's one of my favorite things that's ever come about at Great Scott was the fact that you know, we put this together, or you know, I said, hey, why don't you do a comedy show, and then you did, and then it didn't suck after a while, and that was, you know, and
I mean, it definitely changed my life, and also you gave me a lot of chances, because it did suck for 2 years. For 2 years it was rough.
So I mean, I think that's obviously, I mean, it's I mean, you know, we joke about that a lot. It was you know, it was growing pains for sure, but I mean, I always look at it as, it's like, it's the same, it's just like with, you know, a band playing their, you know, the first couple of shows, like, you know, they're never gonna be their best when they start out. And if they don't have the opportunity to keep getting at it and figuring out what works and what doesn't, and or anything like that, then they're just going to stay a shitty band the whole time. So
I had so many friends that were in so many bad bands that I developed like a way of dealing with it, where when someone who was in a band that I knew was going to be bad, like they were like, oh, I got a new band, I'd be like, oh, cool. And then at the first show, that they would play, I would stand right up front the whole set, and then I would just fucking leave as soon as they were done and not talk to them. And the second show, I would watch them, and then if they came up to me and they were like, "What do you think?" I could say, "Oh, you guys are better. You guys have gotten a lot better since the first time I saw you," and that would be true.
Yeah.
If it was very
no.
praise.
Comedy too.
Yeah.
You could do
it's
that
not
with
even,
comics,
but
too,
also,
for
like,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to everything too, back then, it wasn't even that the shows weren't as good. It was just that I've always said that, God, I wish the Golden Tee guys were funnier, and like
Yeah.
more like Stadler and Waldorf, rather than
Yeah.
just a couple guys that were just obliviously douchey enough to keep playing Golden Tee while the show's still going on starts.
It was,
Like, and I like those guys a lot, but I mean,
yeah, me too.
I wish that turned out to be a positive nostalgic turn of things back then.
Well, I think it is nostalgic now that it's over,
Yeah, right. Kind of all is. Really.
When it was happening, I was like, this is cool. But in retrospect, it wasn't cool. But I like it more now than I did when it was happening.
How long did it take before we even brought in the patio chairs?
Yeah.
And like that kind of a thing? Like, I just remember,
For a while.
I picked Todd Barry up at the airport for a show at Sinclair, and we were talking about when he was at Great Scott. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that was that weird place where I seriously almost tried to do a Todd Barry impersonation in front of a bunch of people."
I thought it was pretty cool.
He was like, "Oh, that was that place with all the patio furniture, and it was like a frat house back porch, but right in front of my stage." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you remember?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that was, and we had those. We would, for a while, we used the patio chairs before we got the chairs that we used. They closed, and every time we had a headliner, one of those chairs would break. And I believe Todd Barry, it was a comedian, PJ Brown, who has a very loud laugh, and which Todd was very distracted by. He was sitting right up front, and then after about 20 minutes into Todd's set, that his chair collapsed, which is just a fun thing to watch Todd Barry react to.
Yeah, crowd work though, right? Like, I mean, that's the gig.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, it's kind of funny to think that something as simple as buying 50 folding chairs is kind of what, like, it really. I feel like everything at that point kind of like moved forward. It made it feel more legitimate to the people who were coming. It felt a little bit more. It probably was make it easier for you to get people to come back over and do sets at during the gas and everything. And just, I mean, I don't know how many more shows with patio furniture we were going to be able to pull off. I don't know if Hannibal Buress wasn't going to come back a second time if we were just trying to pull that kind of move and everything. I remember how disappointed Christopher Finnegan was when he saw the setup, because he was just like, my family's going to be here. Like,
we blew that one so bad.
This is just not what I had in mind. Like, and what a super sweetheart. Like, he was just like you could tell he was bummed for however long, and then he was just like, well, this is it, so let's go for it. And I remember he had a great set, and he seemed like he had a good time. But I mean, it was that's the difference between being like literally just throwing shit against the wall, and at the very least making it look like it's a real grown-up professional presentation kind of a thing. So
like I felt like he was nice then. But like, knowing what I know about comedy now, he was way nicer than he. We really did not know what we were doing, and really, really butchered that one. And he still had a great set. He still did well.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, again, we were doing what we. I mean, at least for me, anyway. Yeah. Doing what we thought was the best we could do, and then it turns out, no, that was not. That is not the best you can do, guys. Buy some chairs.
Yeah. There was also a third voice back then that was very loud, that often made the wrong choices. And I would just be like, oh yeah, whatever, you're smarter than me, so sure.
You know more about history than I do.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing the show and just for everything.
Absolutely. Thank you. This has been fun. This is as brave as I've been about something like this in a long time. And so I'm really glad to be able to see everybody and be a part of this. And honestly, genuinely cannot wait. Like, Tim was like, so what do you think? Like, what do you think? I'm like, it's gonna be the gas 7 nights a week, obviously. Like, it's gonna, what are we gonna? We can't sell it out anyway, so we might as well just do the gas.
Yeah, I feel like our numbers are
perfect.
Approved.
Quarantine.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah, we get enough. Yeah, some of the capacities to 10. I think we would get enough people for about 6.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just do it. 2 shows a night, 7 days a week. We can do it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Honestly, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Genuinely can't wait for it to happen. If it can happen.
Yeah.
It would be meaningful on so many different levels that it's hard to dive into right now. But I can't wait and hope it happens.
Yeah, well, it's for sure one of the first things that I've felt optimistic about in a long time. So thanks for everything that you're doing.
Got it. Thank you, guys.
Keep going for Carl Lavin.
Hey.
Now from Carl, who gave me my entire livelihood, on to a guy whose birthday is today. He's a dear friend. He's hilarious.
Gemini.
Doug Fitzgerald.
Thank you. Yes. Wow, it looks like I'm about to tell a ghost story. The light just changed dramatically the second you said, let's bring up Doug. So, yes, I have the badge of honor and the accolade of being born on this day in 1979. I was 3 months premature, 1 pound, 8 ounces. And I survived based on the medical technology of 1979. The most advanced technology they had was an Atari. Or was it Pong? I'm pretty sure it was Atari. I don't know. I was a zygote, whatever. I was in between a zygote and a baby that could survive on its own, with knives and shit. I survived just out of tenacity. I'm pretty sure I'm beating everybody's death pool surviving to the age of 41 because I literally just put bacon on top of everything, including bacon, and then I take that bacon and I put it in ice cream and I eat it. Just to say, death, come and get me, you son of a bitch. But I have actually been getting up every morning at 5:30 in the morning because I wanted to know what it's like to be an old retired man. Every single old person is like, get up in the morning at 5:30. I'm like, why? You don't have to. You're retired. You could choose to wake up at noon because it's okay to drink alcohol at that point. But no, 5:30, get up, watch, probably Matlock, and then go for a walk to the mall, get too tired halfway there, take the bus back, and go take a nap. Sounds like a full life. I'm one of the lucky people right now, though. I'm working. I am an essential worker, so I've been working through this whole thing. But I feel like I'm being an asshole when I tell everybody I'm an essential worker, but I work from home. It's sort of like, hey, can I get hazard pay from this bubble that I'm in? I feel so bad because I've been ordering out food way too much. Like way too much. It's kind of like I'm saying fuck you to my landlord's meat fridge that he bought specifically for this pandemic. And I'm like, no, I'm supporting local restaurants. Red Bones, bring me meat. But I've actually been cooking because I was like, I've got 2 months worth of meat and I'm neglecting it. I might as well give it a try. And I didn't realize cooking is something you could be so proud of that you'd actually non-ironically take a picture of it and put it on Facebook. Yeah. And I've been doing that a lot. I'm going to leave you with this. My little nephew, I love him to death. I can't see him through this whole thing. And to be fair, if he saw the show with this lighting, he'd have nightmares for weeks. But he sent me the most adorable little birthday message. He's 2 years old. He goes, happy birthday, Unky. Happy birthday, Unky. I turned to my brother and I went, do you have, is he seen a speech coach? Because he's almost 3 years old. He should be able to do 2 syllables by now. All right, guys, I'm Doug Fitzgerald. This has been my birthday.
That's great. Keep it going for Doug Fitzgerald. Yeah, man, Doug, I know I think a lot of us can relate. As soon as the pandemic hit, so many of us went out and bought those big freezers, just, because you never know when there's going to be too many bodies for the morgues to handle. And it's just good to have them around,
You got to get a 2-body or just in case. You never know.
That's cute that your nephew calls you Unky. That's cool. My nephew does not call me Unky, but he calls me the Creanster. It's
So
cute.
your sister had hipsters?
The first thing I bought him was a denim jacket and jeans.
Here's your future.
Being an uncle is you can just buy your sister your exact outfit in baby size, and she'll just put it on her baby.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge.
Yeah. I guess you also have to be a person that wears the same outfit every day for it to really work.
Good point.
No. All right, do you have any birthday plans, Doug?
This is my birthday plans. Can't really go anywhere, so and I bought myself a new computer because
that's great.
Stimulus birthday, why not?
Yeah.
Instead of a light bulb.
Yeah.
No, I have a light bulb, but it's an overhead light, and it's so hot. It is so hot. I would rather look like I'm in a rejected episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark than turn that damn light on. But it's so weird. Whenever the camera goes to somebody else other than me, the lighting's perfect.
Yeah. What if you just turn up the brightness of your screen?
Oh, God damn it. Why didn't I think of that?
Well,
We'll see if this works. I don't think it's going to, because me. All right. I can't find the brightness button. I know it's, oh, there it is.
New computer.
No, I haven't set that up. I literally just got it.
Oh, cool.
That's the highest bright. Like I picked it up before Laura went on.
Cool. Well, yeah, we can see you. We can see your facial expressions and stuff, which is more than normal these days. So that's pretty good. Well, thanks so much for spending your birthday with us. I really appreciate it. Keep it going for Doug Fitzgerald.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude. This is awesome.
We have one final guest left, and boy, you know how funny all those previous guests were. You can't win them all. This next guest is figuratively my best friend. We host a show every Saturday called Co-host to Co-host with Crean and the Gipper. Please put us together and give a warm welcome to the wonderful Gary Peterson.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, everybody. I don't know how I'm going to follow Doug's brightness screen tutorial. I guess I'll just be myself. Doug, happy birthday from the Upside Down. All right. Rob, I'm glad that you're eating on camera. You know how much it annoys me and your consummate unprofessional nature. It's disgusting. Be a fucking pro. On our Saturday shows, I lay down the law with Rob. Just so everybody knows, if you watch our Crean and the Gipper co-host at 8:30 Eastern tomorrow, you get to see Rob not look like a fat gray pig that's also a night janitor. All right. You didn't even fold the clothes on the shelf behind you, which is really disgusting.
They're technically folded.
Yeah. Like you folded them in half and then shoved them together. You are a winner. But that's not why we're here.
It's always
we're not here
to get clothing advice from a magician, apparently. Is that what you're?
My day shift just ended on the riverboat. All right. I'm in the middle of a Hollywood shoot. You wouldn't know anything about it. I'm a star. I'm currently recording, so we're live on set in my living room, shooting something that is not amateur pornography. I wanted to perform something special here tonight. In honor of, I think the theme of this show is, and I wanted to I wanted to perform something that I've never really done on stage. This is a true tale of year 21 of my life. Now, Rob, you met me at 21. I think you were about 67 at the time, and we met. I think I was helping you down some stairs at the Milky Way, and
my hair was dark gray back then.
yes, you
Your
had
hair was the same.
still. I had hair in 2008. I have pictures. You don't know. I was a little lonely. If that's hard to believe, then you've never heard me speak or talk or see my face. My best friend went to Harvard. He's smart, and maybe he could figure out what's wrong with me. We were sitting in a bar in Harvard, and we were both about 21, and we were like, "Oh man, I wish we knew girls. I wish we do. What to say to girls, or I should say women." And my friend said, "Yeah, he's smarter than me, you know." Then somebody came up to our table and said, "You guys are here for the bachelorette auction, right? You got to go downstairs. Bachelorette auction? Yeah, we've got girls from our sorority here at Harvard that are going to be on stage, and you can win a date if you bid." Okay. I'll go. I checked my balance in my bank account, which was $65, and incurred a $2 withdrawal fee at Charlie's Kitchen in Harvard Square, and decided let's gamble with $42 minus the fees. Leaves a remainder amount of $20 in my account. Did I graduate college at this time? The answer was, I was just trying to find myself. So I have $40 to play with, and I decide, don't jump at the first one. You don't want to be creepy there. I say that as remembering, I believe I had a shirt that said "Kill 'em all." It was a skull working at a graveyard, not like menacing, like he was just punching in. So I didn't want to give off the wrong impression. I saw the first girl, and I was like, I'm not going to bid on her because that will make me seem desperate. I see the second girl. I was like, she's really cute. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait for a sign. I'm going to wait for something cosmically to tell me what to do. A bachelorette number 3 in the sorority auction. Her name was Allie Buyer. And I was like, Buyer? Buy her? Okay. All right. I think that's right. And they said, what do we have for an opening bid on this lovely young bachelorette? And the audience was quiet. You know what? They're missing out on a diamond in the rough. I said, $40. When you are doing an auction, you shouldn't have your opening bid be all the money you have. You should give yourself room to grow. I said $40. Nobody said anything, and sold. Date. She came over, and I'm not proud of the conversation that I had. Just know that I'm nervous, and I'm not a misogynist. So here's verbatim the conversation we had. Hi, I'm Gary. Hi, Gary. I'm Allie. Yeah, I just bought you. Yeah, you did. So what do you do here at Harvard? Oh, I don't go to Harvard. You don't? No. Okay. What do you do? I'm a women's studies major. That is hilarious. Why is that hilarious? Well, not the fact that, I mean, studying women is great, but you just allowed yourself to be purchased in an auction. You know what? Okay. Do you want my email? So she gives me her email. Okay, that'll be enough. Almost like a that'll do pig. Here's the email I sent. Here's the email. Sorry, Tokyo Drift's being filmed outside. It's a reboot with Betty White. This is what I wrote. Hi, I bought you at an auction. My name is Gary Peterson. Keeping this brief, Saturday, I have a show at 8. If you want to come, I can get you in free. Sidebar. No, I couldn't. If you just want to do dessert before or after, let me know. Thanks. Sent at 2:13 a.m. No response. No response. Then I get an email. Dear Gary, I'm writing on behalf of Zeta Phi Chapter, which recently held an event at which you donated money to charity in exchange date with sisters, Allie Byer. Unfortunately, this event was confined to Harvard students, and Miss Byer will be unable to attend this date with you, a non-Harvard undergraduate. I apologize for any misunderstandings and would like to refund your money to you. Please email me your address and we can reimburse you. Thank you for your understanding. Yours, Zeta Phi Chapter. We have all been rejected. That's part of life. We have all been rejected by somebody we've asked out. That's part of life. Very few of us have been rejected by a student-run organization that had to have a meeting and discussion of how to word an email to somebody nobody wanted to date. I responded, I didn't know this was confined to Harvard undergrads only. I was visiting a student of Harvard and he misinformed me. No, he didn't. I threw my friend under the bus. I don't know why I did that. You can send my money to the following address. Week goes by, nothing. Another week goes by, and my $20 in my bank account have been penalized by Bank of America for being under $250. So I have negative $30 in my account. So then I send this email. This is Gary Peterson. I have given you 2 weeks and still not received my money. I want my money. I want it by Friday. I am prepared to take legal action. Signed, Gary J. Peterson, Bridgewater State College. Word to the wise. When you get to the point of saying, I am prepared to take legal action, you are literally saying, I cannot afford a lawyer, and this is a last-ditch effort in hopes that my bluff will get $40 back to me, thus bringing my bank account to negative $10. I did get the money back. On the bright side of the situation, I did receive as part of my bid for Miss Byer a Finale gift certificate. It's a dessert place. Finale, as it's pronounced, the French with the accent aigu. Finale provides overpriced desserts that are gross and usually frozen and then thawed out. I had a fantasy, and I never did it, but my fantasy was this. I wished that I had gone to Finale, that I had got a tiramisu and brought it to the Harvard courtyard in front of the John Harvard statue where everyone gathers and takes their pictures and doesn't know that touching the foot is lucky, but also I peed on it the night before. Then I would have set up a picnic with 2 place settings, one for me, one for Allie, who would never arrive. And in my final bites of my delicious tiramisu, the candelabra would be extinguished with a single tear from my gentle brow. That is my true story, and I thank you for your time. I'm going to throw it back to old gray Rob Crean, ladies and gentlemen.
You were going to Gary Peterson. At that point when you said we've all been rejected, I looked over at Heather, who was shaking her head, looking at Tom on the screen, also shaking his head.
Heard of it?
Yeah.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
It's got its own problems.
Oh, does it? Like, where do you store this pussy avalanche that just hit my town.
It's a real issue.
Oh no! Oh, I've broke my bed again. Oops.
Luckily, you're handy, so we can fix it.
Yeah.
I loved so many things about that story. I loved how you pronounced things like tiramisu and Harvard courtyard. You just the way of speaking that is delightful, Gary.
It's Rose Kennedy's accent. My daughter, she had a lobotomy to prevent her from spreading her seed.
She doesn't leave the house much these days. Is that close?
Robert Francis Kennedy, my seventh child. To the podium. I used to work at the Kennedy House in Brookline, there down the street from Great Scott, and if you could walk and press a button, and Rose Kennedy's voice was in every room. So like, and she always told like these heartfelt like recordings in every room, like, this is the rocking chair that I told my son someday you'll be president, which is ridiculous to think of. You're a fucking 3-year-old. Like, who's gonna remember?
I mean, she was talking to Bobby, and then he just lied.
But if you hit the buttons in every room, you set off the noise cacophony. So one day, like, we're locking up the house, and everybody's buttons just went. It started off as like, we had many days here, Joseph reading papers, teacups, the teacups of the Liptons, and we were happy here. Pick a lily.
What do you miss most about Boston, living your laid-back West Coast lifestyle?
Probably the straight pride parades, and I think
I love a straight pride parade.
A good sub sandwich.
We've all seen a straight person, no big deal. But man, when you see 12 of them walking in a row, what a sight to behold.
And plus, there's only 30 Kelly's roast beef, so.
Hey, you got any Kelly's roast beef on the West Coast, Gary? You got any Kelly's roast beef on the West Coast, Gary?
No, we only have California Pizza Kitchens. That's the only restaurant that's legally allowed here now. And, it's in Planet Hollywood. I eat at Planet Hollywood for breakfast, and then I get a California Pizza Kitchen the rest of the day. And weirdly enough, a Quiznos.
One lone Quiznos.
That's named after Quiznos Beach, which is it's weirdly it's east of LA, which is weird.
You mean Hispanic? Is that what you meant, Rob? A lot of people don't know this, but Rob supports a big wall made in cages.
Bigger wall, you can hold up more posters.
People keep talking about building this wall, but who's talking about getting the Led Zeppelin posters to put up on that wall? You know what I mean?
And the occasional Lisa Frank.
I gotta go get relit for my scenes, but I wish you all safe times and safe bodies, and God bless America.
For being here, Gary.
Bye, Gary.
Woo! Gary. And folks, thanks everyone for being here. I really appreciate everyone coming and hanging out. It was a real fun time. And that's the show. Thanks a lot. And we can all wave bye, and then Matt will shut off the live feed.
No song?
Thanks, everybody.
Our hands look weird with the delay.
All right, we're